Yo, greetings and salutations. I forget who I stole that from, but you can't copyright phrases. I guess you could trademark, but anyway, what's up? I promise you I won't talk about nerd stuff. Actually, I'll just put on the end, so if you don't get down there, you don't get down there. But let's see. I got on my shirt. I was telling you last time I went to buy one. Now, here's the thing, though. I wasn't planning to wear it on a walk because, I'm out here sweating and there's no one out here. But then I was like, what's the point of buying it if I'm not going to wear it? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. For all I know, I could be unalived, die of natural causes, whatever, I don't know. And then I'll never get to wear it. So I put it on, and I like it. It has that just bought smell. And then I walk down the street, and there's this old lady. She lives there, I guess. I see her all the time. But when you walk by her, she starts talking. Now, if I'm being honest with you, she scares me because she's just like talking. She's not talking to you. She's talking at you. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be on the other side of the street. But, hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I was like, I'm going to be on the other side of the street. But then, But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, morning. Like, I'm not afraid of no old lady. Now, so I was like, I'm not afraid. So I went across the street on her side, and when I got to her porch, I said, good morning. How are you today? And she said, I'm good. And she looked at my shirt and said, what's that on your shirt? I said, it's the Wu-Tang Clan. And she said, I know who they are. And then, now again, I passed her a lot, and I thought that she couldn't speak because I never heard what she was saying. She was kind of mumbling, like as if she was casting a spell. That's why I was kind of scared of her, because she'd be all like, but she said in the freshest of voices, she said, I know who they are. And then what happened? She said, I don't know what she was saying. So I said, how long have you lived here? She said, I lived here for 4 years. After I was kicked out of my old house in Jersey. I'm not asking, but, and then she's like, this street, 13th Street, is the worst street to live on, which I could see that. I live on Lehigh and 13 intersection. There's always accidents. People, first of all, we got people going up the wrong way, and then you got people whipping down the street. So it's just, what she was saying is, I try to tell people about the word of God, and they don't want to listen, which is probably what she's mumbling, which, so, she's like, the white people listen, and she starts going in and out. She's like, I don't know, old. She has no teeth, kind of old looking, 80s, whatever. But, we're talking, I'm being polite because, whatever. And I was like, I wish my dad would like bump into her because they could talk. They talk. Kids today don't want to listen. They would have a field day. So then I was like trying to naturally, because I've been a hostage to conversations. Like, I don't know how to disengage. Normally these are at like at meet and greets and shit. I'll be like just there and someone's talking to me, like I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't know how to break the conversation. And but I said, no, you know where the creek is down there? She's like, yes, yeah, so that's where I'm walking, trying to get there before it rains. And she's like, I was gonna walk there yesterday. She wasn't gonna walk there yesterday. Maybe she was. I've never seen her anywhere outside of her porch. But so then she started with World War III. And like, I gotta head on down to the trail. Have a wonderful day. And I moved on. Now I'm here. Yeah, so 1 point for wearing the shirt. All right, so see how we tie this all together. Before we tie it all together, doesn't that look like a? Oh, I gotta do it this way. Doesn't that look like a Wu-Tang? So I'm currently listening to Ghostface. His I think it's called Iron something. Did you know that Ghostface didn't choose his name, Iron Man, Tony Stark's, because of the comic? It was because he was saying he looked like Tony Stark. According to him, people could rewrite their own history. When I was born, my mom said, "You're a rhyming gaijin," but she didn't know, people would do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really interesting. And at the same time I'm reading that one, I'm reading the book about Let Them Theory. I think I talked about it before, but Let Them Theory is basically, now it's a simple concept, not a 10-hour worth of audiobook concept, but the concept is this. If someone is doing something you don't like, instead of getting all upset and angry and blah, you just let them. You let them and you walk away. Now some people, that's like, what? They gotta hear what I gotta say. No, you just let them. And then that's the first half of the book, and then the other 5 hours is let me focus on something else. Now, 10 hours, it's a long book about nothing. It is what it is. I'm listening to it because my therapist's like, "Hey Matthew, I'd like to suggest a book to you." Now, I only started to listen to it, whatever, because part of it is, if she read the book and I read the book, then I could be like, "This book sucks." And then she could be like, "Well," because normally I read books that she doesn't read. Like a couple weeks ago, someone's like, "You should read I forget the name of the book, but kind of like how to be the dominant male." I didn't read the book yet, so I might be butchering up, but what was it called? The 3%? I don't know. But she would never read that kind of book. So if I'm like quoting from that kind of book, she's like, "Well, But this book, I could be like, "This book is bullshit." And she's like, "Why do you think that?" Well, I'm telling you right here. Let them theory cannot work for different groups of people. Like if you live in an area where the roaches are roaching all over the place, I've never been in that situation. Ghostface, he's saying it. There was roaches in the cereal boxes. Supposed to let them? If there's gunshots around the hood, you're supposed to let them? No. So I got a big issue with the whole theory. But you could take pieces of it. No one's saying, it's kind of like your body. You could eat all types of foods, but your body digests what it wants and it kind of gets rid of the rest. Dog people. So yeah, take what you take and leave the rest. That's fine. You don't gotta digest the whole book. So I'm like 3 hours in, or 3 hours left out of my 10 hours. Like I was really, I try to read things. I mean, my next session is in 2 weeks, so I want to be done with it. And I want to finish my Ghostface book. I want to read a couple books or audio books before school comes back. Anyway. So basically that's the let them theory. And I'm like juxtapositioning it next to the Ghostface. And they are like different. They're two different coins. So Ghostface, his situation is like, yeah, I was getting shot at, so I had to shoot them. Can he let them shoot him? And then the other one is like, oh, my girlfriends, they didn't invite me to their brunch. I'm so upset. Before I get upset, I should let them. Like, it's so funny. But I get what she's saying, but it's I've never been on a brunch. We don't do brunches, dinners. Maybe some people do, I don't. So it's interesting listening to these two books back to back. And the book I read before this one was Charlemagne's Anxiety. So I mashed them all together to come up with my kind of master thesis, as everyone does. You watch what you watch, you listen to what you listen to, and you come up with some ideas. You take them all together and you spit out something. Now, the problem is, we all don't listen to the same thing. And even if we did, it is filtered through the way we live. So right now there's a dog park down there, so a lot of people with their dogs. I've only been bitten by a dog once. When I was in Jamaica, dog bit me. So I went to go pet it. And it bit me. After that, I don't pet dogs. I wasn't attacked by a dog. I had no near-life death experiences by a dog. I didn't have a dog die in my arms from being hit by a car. So I don't really have a lot of emotions or reservation towards dogs. I don't like them in general. I got no issue with Snoopy. I'll rock a Snoopy shirt. And if I'm watching a movie and the dog dies, I might feel a little something. Like Hachiko, you know Hachiko? Movie about a dog that would, well, it's a Japanese story. Dog would always come over to Hachiko station. Salaryman would always feed Hachiko. And then one day, the owner died, but the dog kept coming back. And then the dog died, and they put a statue. And then they made a movie with Richard Gere, right? You know, a couple tears came out of my eyes for that one. But my point is, when I see dogs now, my instinct is not to go over and pet them, nor is it to kind of run away. Now, those big, what kind of dogs are those? Those pit bulls in the hood that don't have leashes or owners in anywhere. I tend to go across the street with those because I got the Cujo framework, you know? I ain't trying to be Cujo. But yeah, so when it comes to books and knowledge, we have so many different backgrounds that lead to that point. So when you're talking to that person, and I think a lot of issues arise from that. You can't account for it. I know I said I didn't want to get into no nerd talk, so I won't. I'll hold off to put it on the end. But it does tie into biochemistry, you know, like genes and all that shit. Speaking of, we'll segue into that one. For the past couple of weeks, 4 weeks, about a month now, I've been studying for the biology praxis test. And that shit is hard. But consistently when I take the praxis test, when I take the praxis test, I'm hitting like between 50 and 59. So I'm halfway there, which is good. The part that I'm like getting my ass kicked on is the gene shit, DNA shit, and ecology shit. Because most of it, I didn't learn it. I know of it. I know that DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid, and RNA is I can't say it, but I could point it out of a multiple choice of 4, and I know what the hell they do. Cell division, I just use PMAT, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and C, cytokinesis. Like, that shit is all me. But other shit, like the Punnett square shit, I mean, I'm starting to get it. Heterozygous. And you see the smile. Like, I'm excited. Because what I'm accomplishing here, I went from being a layman in biology to, I'm going to take the test in 2 weeks. And I'm going to ace that test. I didn't take biology. And if you know my backstory, I'm not a biology anything. So I'm excited. It's not even even. When I pass it, I'll take the test in August 1st. I'll get the results in the end of the month. And then the kids will come in like, I'm a biology teacher now. I know sometimes I want to be all like, I know stuff. But sometimes the kids catch me like, you're going to say sugar. Stop it. But so I took a test today. 150 questions. And I got 101 correct. Statistically or whatever, I need to have 120 to pass. That's like an 80%. So I'm almost there, which is cool. And then the ones I didn't know, because I'd never heard about it before, I guessed. and I got 50% off of my guessing. By process of elimination, kind of, like, the one question is, when you are out of oxygen and you're doing the anabolic respiration thing, what gas is produced? So it had oxygen and carbon dioxide, then it had lactic acid, and then some other shit. I'm like, lactic acid is not a gas. So but I felt oxygen can't be what's coming out of anabolic, and carbon dioxide wouldn't be. So I kind of felt that it could have been lactic, because lactic sounds like it's painful, and so I had a thought process. I just went with my gut and choose oxygen, but it was lactic. But yeah, man, I'm good. I still got time to get it in, and I just got a new book where it's like how to study, which I wish I would have got that book first, because I mean I've been studying pretty good. I got a computer program, I got books, I got the audio books, so I'm doing a lot. And the act of me talking about it to you guys is a form of studying, because you have to have the ability to recall that. So there's that. What else? It's not mine, but basically it is mine. So the 3D printer my school bought, I set it up. It's working. I got all the accessories. I say because right now I paid for it out of my own money. They haven't reimbursed me because, summertime. So they get it, they send it, and then a week later I get my money back. Now in the event that they're like, nope, it's on me, I didn't ask, I just kind of move forward with, we can't. It'd be like if you had a car, you just get a new car and there's no spare tire in the back seat. You might be like, all right, let's get that spare tire. Oh, no jumper cables? Let's get the jumper cables. So I got all that kind of shit. Stuff to clean the screen. I got an extra screen. I got the glass door because it was shattered. I got the rest of the colors. Tell me why. Tell me why whoever bought the 3D printer, here's the colors they got. They got 10 spools of white, 10 spools of black, 3 blue, 3 red, 1 green, 2 purples, 2 golds, gray, silver, and there you go. Like, what? What kind of mix is that? So I bought, our school colors are maroon. So I got maroon. When we had pink. I didn't see that we had pink, but luckily I bought magenta. So it's a little different. So I got magenta, orange, maroon, yellow. All right, I got those colors. I got translucent blue. That was more for me. I just wanted to see what a translucent film would look like. I got glow-in-the-dark yellow and glow-in-the-dark green, because I just like glow-in-the-dark. But when we do October stuff, it would be nice to have glow-in-the-dark stuff. And I messed up and got the wrong, I don't know if I could explain it. Well, yes, I can. If you 3D printed something that kind of had a hook like this, it would fall over. It needs a support. So they have this support material that you can use and then once your whatever prints, you could peel it away. So I also bought an AMS, an automatic M system. I don't know what the M is, right? But basically you can have 4 spools on there at the same time, so you don't have to keep switching. And you could do a multi-print. I haven't done that yet. But so it's called AMS. So I bought this support. I thought it was AMS compatible. What it was saying is it's ABS. That's what it is. It's for ABS. Different spools have different I don't even know, textures. So you have your PLA, which is normal, PLA matte, which is matte, and then you would have ABS, and so on. I'm still learning all this shit. So I got the wrong one. I tried to return it. This company is kind of like the drone company. What's the drone? DJI. They look like, I always thought they were American based, but they're not. They're based in, I want to say, China. So this company, I don't know where it's based at, but there's no phone number. You got to send an email, and then I guess they auto-translate it, and it comes back. They're based in Texas, but... So they're like, yeah. If you want to return it, you got to pay for the shipping. The shit costs like $15. Shipping's going to be, what, $5? I don't think it's it. So I'll just keep it. So then I bought another one for the right one. And so, yeah, I got all this stuff. And so in total, what I paid to upgrade and get our 3D printer up to par, 1,000? And you're like, what if the school doesn't give you the money? They're going to give me my money. So what I did is the big purchase, the first thing I bought was like $600, the AMS system and the first ones, and then other stuff. And I got books, cleaning stuff, tools. So I'll just give them the invoices at different times throughout the year. Just slip it in there. Or I'll throw it in at the end of the year. But either way, I'll get my money. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so now I just go in there and just practice doing different things. So in a couple of weeks, when school starts, I can show some of the teachers. And then if I do a club, I can have the kids get their 3D printing on, which is pretty cool because, again, they bought it. So why not use it? That's my whole thing. I'm volunteering for Music Fest. This will be my 3rd year. This year I'm ready. The first year I did like one time. I was like, I don't know. The second year I did it enough times. This year I know it's gonna rain because it always rains. So I gotta get my galoshes ready. And I know what I know, so I'm ready. Nelly is coming, but they didn't put me on, like, there's different stages, so I didn't get close enough to the Nelly stage. Kind of annoying, but I'll make the best of it. What else? Last week, I got a phone call from my doctor. I just did blood work, and they said that my levels are elevated, and they're like, you got to cut back. Like, I have a low calorie lifestyle type of thing, and I was like, what the hell? Low cholesterol, something like that. Now, granted, I don't eat, and I am moving. You see me walking and talking, so I'm not too concerned. I don't have any issues. Like, I can still walk up Mount Fuji, but I'm getting older, and my metabolism is slowing down, and blah 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 blah. It's something I should, whatever. So I decided I'm going to see what I can do. So I already had the app because I bought it already. It hasn't used it, so I'm like, let me pull out this app. It gave me a plan. It says you should have these many calories a day. And then all week I've been trying to, what can I eat? So I'm trying to get my breakfast on, and it's just like, you're over. Like sodium. I'm like, why is my sodium so freaking high? All I had was 2 sausage link, an egg, and a muffin. And it was like, the sausage got you over. So I'm like, all right, I'll have 1. I'm still over. I'm like, what? So then I do some more researching, and some of you are like, you didn't know that? No, I didn't know that. No one told me. And if they told me in a way that doesn't resonate with. So not all, but most packaged foods, processed foods, there's sodium in it because it's what it preserves it to last longer. So my pre-packaged sausage and my pre-packaged chicken and my frozen pizza and all that other shit I love to eat, sodium is off the chart. So I'm like, ah. So by Wednesday, I figured out, okay, I can have, it suggested egg whites. They're all right. I just cook the egg whites and put like pepper, lemon, salt on it. It makes it good enough. Throw that in a grain, light grain bread. What do you call it? Muffin. And I want meat, so I get a sausage or one link. But then when I eat that and an apple and water, it still says that I'm below. Like if I'm supposed to have 450 calories, it says I'm at 380. But the sodium is already up because of the one little sausage link. This is breakfast time. And then the rest of the day just follows suit. Like, damn. And then I go out and walk and it's doing the whole thing. This is your allotted for the day, subtracted how many calories you burn, and this is how much you're supposed to have. I'm like in a deficit. It's like you need to eat more. But I'm already hitting all the freaking things, the sodium and cholesterol and all that. It's like, what? It's frustrating, man. So yesterday I'm like, and then this is happening. I'm not hungry anymore. Like I'm all focused on waking up, doing my studying for the praxis and whatever. I'm not even thinking about eating. I'm not hungry. But then it's like you have to eat, because if you don't eat, you are going to have your body. Well, I guess I didn't start with this one. I'm trying to lose 21 pounds. You're like, what do you? Yeah, I want to lose 21 pounds. Leave me alone. 21 pounds got to go. So it's saying if you don't eat the right amount of calories in a day, your body will eat the muscle, but leave the fat, or some shit like that. Which is what? I mean, it makes sense in the evolutionary way of it, but that's not what I want. So I was like, so I use chat. That's my, I use the app and I use chat. And I'm like, hey chat, what can I eat? Can I eat, what can I eat at Subway? You know, like you can have a plain this on this bread. Yesterday, like, what can I eat at Burger King? It's like, you could have a grilled sandwich. I get to Burger King, like, do you have grilled sandwiches? Like, no. But even she paused, because I think at a point in time they did. On Friday, I'm like, could I have pizza? Because again, I might skip lunch or breakfast. These ducks here, man, or geese, they just be out here pooping. Just pooping. One time, my friend, we're around this area, and my friend went over to the nest to play with the eggs. I don't know why, but he did. And one of the mama, I guess it's a mom, chased him. It was so funny. So I ain't trying to be chased by no, I mean, it'd be a story. Like, go to the hospital. Now, I don't know what they would do. I don't think they have teeth. But it may be traumatic for their kids. Like, Mama got... But, so yeah, so anyway, long story short, or long story longer, I've been doing that for a whole week, and today, so last Sunday I started, so this Sunday I weighed myself, and I lost 5 pounds, which I feel good. Now the question is that going to be a continual 5 pound every week, or is it going to level off? But again, and anyway, so not even a wish me luck. just know I'm gonna do what I be doing. So back to the book, right? There was two parts. So the book, as I said, let them, it's it is what it is. It has some good points and whatever. But there was one section that I had to stop, and it felt like she was talking to me, as if she materialized out of the book and sat in the seat next to me and said, Matt, I'm talking to you. I'm like, you talking to me? And when I get angry, upset, discombobulated with people, I tend to stop talking, all right? Because the old adage, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything. That's just what, because my words are sharp, barbed. Even if I'm not trying to, they tend to, like, in high school, I was in a group, and there was another group, and we're all doing our music, you know? Life was good. They were like the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and we were like the Fugees, Locks. Right. And then I put out my solo album, and one of the songs was called Get Out the Closet. No, it wasn't even called Get Out the Closet. I just say in the line, something, 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 get out the closet. Now, unbeknownst to me, this group, they made a song called Cleaning Out My Closet or some shit like that. And when they heard my song, they thought I was dissing them, which makes no sense, because if I'm gonna diss you, this is before subliminals were a thing. I would just come out and say it. Mind you, these are my people. When they had a show, I fronted the money. I said, I'll support you, I believe in you. When they went to New York to be on MTV, karaoke, I was out there with them to support, but also to get my 3 seconds in the background, like, hey, that's me. So there was no animosity towards them and I, but they took it that way, and they didn't hit me up like, hey man, we heard your song. Were you dissing us? They just made their own diss song. And the diss song was just like, yeah, I got the diss song, but no, I'm not gonna play it. But the diss song was just like, one of the lines was, Matthew B, the legendary cat that raps. I used to say all the time. Matthew B, the legendary cat that raps. You something want to beef with us. Your beats are garbage. Your tracks are lame. I hope you get a different job when you graduate from college. I mean, so that was the level of the disses. Your hair is nappy. Your socks are long. I still got long socks on. I'm not an ankle sock wearing type of person. So, you know, kind of making fun of me. And when I heard it, I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Of course, I was annoyed. Like, who are these? Who are these peasants? How dare they? Let me get off my throat, like, because I felt at that time, and you know, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I again. So this all started with, if you have nothing nice to say, you don't say anything. So they made the song. I didn't hear it because this is before the internet, before MySpace. But we could just say, I mean, internet existed, but MySpace, Facebook. So a mutual friend, they drop it off at my door. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Matt, I think you should hear this. They give me a tape. I listened to the song on the tape, and I'm like, what? And then on the B side of the tape was their song that they were going to release. It's like, what? So then I took their song on the back and remixed it into the disc, and it was just great. Now, I wasn't saying anything disrespectful. I was just saying facts. Like, you know, as I said, they went to MTV for karaoke. They didn't win. because it's karaoke, they spin a wheel, and the song they got was a song that wasn't in their repertoire, whatever. And the song was Hungry Like a Wolf. Hungry like a wolf. So it was hard for them. And again, they're like Backstreet, so they do that. If they would have got Usher, NSYNC, but they got this song. So one of my lines was, you coming at me, you don't want the truth. I guess like the tape, get the tape from New York, it shows you wasn't hungry like a wolf. You climbed the ladder, but I'm still on the roof. You get inside, it's impossible, like you stay in the group. So stuff like that. And I'm just, spitting the facts. I'm on my Nas thing. Not really Nas, because Nas, they were more on their Nas thing because they're just making fun of how I look. You mustache wearing rat with a pair of beans you whack. But I was more on my Jay-Z thing, just spitting facts. One album sold this much, and 2 albums, so you're not even. But again, nothing disrespectful. I mean, there was one line where I'm like, you should stay back in the closet. Back when, you could say that kind of stuff. Now I'd be like, how could you say that? That's socially inappropriate. But, so it was done. But then, as I said, I had my own group. One of my friends, or the person in my group, was siding with them, and he made a diss song about me, and the diss song was just like, fuck you. Fuck your girl. Hope you die. Like, it was like that. And then my cousin's like it was just weird. Again, I recorded everybody in my city because I had the, anyway. So then now this hurt. That one was just like, because I knew the dude's mom. I knew the dude's uncle, cousin, like, so I started loading up ammo. I started writing all types of foul shit during anthropology, first year of college, or first year at Temple. That's all I did. I wasn't even thinking about the class because it was an amphitheater type seat, so I'm way in the back just writing disses. And then, you know what? Now, even before I read the book, and this is another thing about the whole book, I've been doing this all my life. Okay, let them. I'm here. I'm in Philadelphia. Why do I care what's happening down in Easton? So I just kind of let it go. Life went on. Long story short, 20 years later, I'm down. I just moved back from Japan. I'm just chilling at the bar. I mean, they have an open mic there, so I'm at the bar. But it's an open mic. Don't get it twisted. I'm not at the bar. I'm at the open mic about to spit bars. And I see the guy who wrote the rap to me. Now, we did talk to each other via Facebook, but this is the first time we're meeting face to face since, I was out the country. He's like, hey, what's up, Matt? We're like, hey, what's up? All love. The end. I mean, he doesn't even rap anymore, which, I mean, I almost wanted to be like, yo, we should start a rap group again. I mean, it almost happened because I was rapping and he was rapping, and then the host was like, I heard you two rap together. Why don't you rap right now? But I was like, But anyway, bring it all back. What happened to that? But, so, saying you shouldn't. So, I tend not to say anything because I don't want to start a conflict, right? But it never works out that way because it just kind of takes a life of its own. And it'd be easier just to say the hard things like, listen, this is how I feel and I don't like. And then whatever happens, happens. But at least it is out there. It's not speculating. But that shit's hard. But she was like, you know why you don't do that? Again, she's talking to me. Because you are having a tantrum. Like, yeah, right. And she's like, what does a 5-year-old do when they have a tantrum? They go pout and they sit in the corner. I'm like, now, adults, we don't necessarily pout. But by not speaking your mind, it is effectively the same thing. And what do you want? What does a 5-year-old want when they're pouting in the corner? They want someone to come over and like, are you okay? I'm so sorry this happened. And I can't speak for everyone, but what did I want in all the times when I was like not saying anything? I wanted those people to be like, why is Matt not talking? I think it's because 5 seconds ago I said this, and I knew that that's something that he didn't like, and obviously I made a mistake, so I need...
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
What's the lake? It's like a swimming spot around here.
Like a lake? No,
like the river. Yeah, like the river.
All right, there's no lake on this. There's All right, so right there's a little bridge, and if you stood on it, you could see where it gets a little deeper, but it's not a lake. So it's like around this area, but
It's like a swimming spot, right? It's like you can swim there or no?
I mean, you could swim all up and down this, but usually people swim from this point. It's like 5 minutes over there, which you have to. So if you parked here, walked across the bridge, you could see a little path going down. So,
All right. Thank you.
all right.
Appreciate it.
Telling you, man, I think it's a shirt. If I was wearing one of my hobo shirts, 'cause that's what I call them, all old and raggedy, because all I'm doing is walking. But just I got this shirt on, people just want to talk. But where was I? So yeah, because I'm going silent, brooding on my Batman. I'm Batman. The effect is not what it hasn't worked out for me. So she's saying, it's basically having a tantrum, like a little 8-year-old or 5-year-old. I mean, the age. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And that shit struck a chord, because all my life I've been doing that. And then the other day I noticed, I know where I got it from. The original OG Mr. Bailey. And, this is how I was raised. If you have issues, and then my uncle was talking and he kind of said it, and it's like a family thing. That's what we do. Because when we do talk, we explode, but it's okay to explode. You just gotta. So this part just blew my mind. So 10-hour audiobook, but this one little section, just like, wow. So now, anytime I start feeling emotions, as awkward as I'm just gonna listen, and I'll probably stutter and be all like uncharacteristic of, because I was the vulnerable part, most people think I'm like look at Matthew, he's a well-spoken guy and he just doesn't give a fuck about anything. But it's not the case. I'm human. So, but yeah, that one part. And then the next part, or next section, was about friends, making friends as an adult. And it broke it down in a way that resonating. Again, it's all about resonating. Because, it obviously is not rocket scientist. She didn't invent this, but just the way she's saying it. So she's saying the reason it's difficult to make friends as adults for some people. Some people can, wherever they go, they got friends. But it goes something like this. When we're young, elementary, you tend to live in a block, and the kids on your block go to the same elementary as you. You tend to ride the bus together or walk together. You tend to have family friends. So, you go to the pool, like everything is just kind of a little community around your little elementary self. Middle school, again, it tends to be closer. You tend to be with the same group of people. And then high school, 1 or 2 people move away, whatever. You may go to a different high school, but again, you tend. But let's leave high school out of it. So elementary, middle school, you're in the same class with the same kids, and you're more or less learning the same stuff. The smartest kid is still in your class, and the not so smart kid is also still in your class. When you get to high school, then it might fragment a little bit. Like in high school, I took French, which put me in a group that none of those kids were my friends. Where in Spanish, everybody was in there saying, por favor, and caliente. I don't know what they were saying, but I wasn't in the class. So if you're always with the same people all the time, you tend to become their friends. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. So Friday nights tend to be the same thing. You go to the same places. And she even gave it a number. I forgot the number, but it's like 200 hours or some shit. That's how you form a friendship or something. But they're the number. Anything less, you're not really friends. Maybe acquaintance. All right, fast forward to, bam, college. What happens in college? You go from, I'm in this area, and now I'm gonna do a college in the other side of the country. Or in my case, I went to another country, different state. Or I'm not even going to college, I'm gonna work. Or I'm gonna get married. Now your groups separate. So she came up with a formula. It was something like how to keep, well, friendships are based on 3 things. Now you don't gotta agree with her. I'm just repeating what she said. But proximity, how close you are to the person. So an example with elementary, in school, you're in the class with them all the time. You eat lunch with them all the time. On the weekends, you're with them. You're at their house. So proximity. The next one is timing. Timing is where are you on the timing. So more or less, you all hit puberty at the same time. You all of a sudden be like, look, I found my dad's Playboy. You all kind of at the same time be like, yo, Sally got big eyes. And if you know me, you know what eyes always stands for. Beautiful eyes, of course. So you all start wanting to get a car, getting cars, getting a job at the same time. So the timing, you all watch the same shows. Summer hits at the same time, so you all are more or less free at the same time to go to the pool at the same time. Your amusement parks open at the same time, and summer ends at the same time, and go back to school at the same time. So the timing. And the third one is energy. Now for kids, the energy is whatever. Kids, maybe they have a low energy threshold. Energy being, hey, you want to play? Sure. And that's it. Kids don't be all like going too deep into it. Now, take those 3 and then put it to when you go to college. Now, let's say in the case of Matthew, I'm all the way in Japan. So proximity, I'm no longer around. And I felt it. When I was looking at social media, I see my friends doing stuff. I wasn't there. When I come home for Christmas, some people were busy and they couldn't. Well, that's different, but basically, let's just stick with that. So I'm on the other side of the world. I'm no longer close. I'm missing out on a bunch of shit. I missed out on weddings, a couple funerals, kids being born, the scandals. But I'm over there. And likewise, they're missing the whole rhyming gaijin, all that stuff, because they are over here. So that's one. The next one is timing. Because I'm in Japan and they're here, our timings are different. I went and got my master's in business, started my own little business, YouTubing, social mediaing, photography, reading books, self exploration. It sounds bad. It doesn't sound bad. Just learning about myself. Where over here, they were getting jobs, married, having kids. Some of my friends, they had people were getting sick, tumors or cancer and all that shit. Parents are dying. So our timing is off. So when we did meet, when I come home, it'd be like, so what you up to? just locking down the job and making sure the kids got food and all that. And I would be like, I'm doing nude photography. I'm just out here, I just picked up the camera and started doing it, had my exhibition. So timing's off. And then the last part is just energy. I mean, energy is also vibe, but do you even have the energy? When you're young, it's relatively easy to hang out with your friends because it's like, hey, let's meet. And you met. When you're an adult, meeting might require, like last week, we went to the club and I was joking with my friend, like, I gotta take a nap. He's like, I already took a nap. Because if we're gonna be out, and it's not even till like 3 a.m., we'd be done at 12. But we're not young no more. So, now granted, I used to take naps back in the day if I was gonna be up all night dancing. But I don't even dance, I just be doing my thing. So, having the energy to make the plans. Some nights, I just want to sit in the house. Like the other day I came home, like, I should go to the open mic. Like, nah, I'm just gonna go home, study, walk, play around with my nerd stuff, and then go to bed so I can be fresh and repeat it. So these three things, proximity, timing, and energy, those are hard things when you become an adult. Like right now, I had a dream about one of my friends. Like I should call him in the morning. I didn't. One of my friends I emailed, and she emailed me back. Another coworker / friend I emailed, but she didn't email me back. I don't have the energy to email. She got one time. And then this added on to it. So at work, you're at work all day long. Well, depending where you work, but you spend a lot of time at work. And you might say, how comes they're not my best friends? And it's because of those three things. You may be close to each other, proximity-wise, right? Because you work together. Like in the case of my job, there's the art teacher who is down the hall from mine, and she always comes to my classroom. So at any point, if you're looking for her, you can call my phone, like my classroom phone, and she'll probably be in there. When we did the play, we were together and whatever. Now that summer happens, she lives she lives on the other side of the school, maybe an hour that way. I live a half an hour on the other side. So between her house and my house is probably 2 hours, whatever. So the proximity is off. Timing. I'm 44, she's 22. So we are on two different time schedules. She's like, maybe she wants, I don't really know. Maybe she wants to get married. Maybe she wants to see the world. She still lives with her mom. She still lives at home. I moved, I lived abroad. I lived on campus. I lived off campus. So our timing's off. And then the energy. She always be like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. You see me, this video is an hour and I'm still talking. I got that kind of energy. But if it's not matched, I'm not even, you gotta. So as I said, I've been going to school sometimes to work on stuff. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to school. But she don't be coming to school. So those three things making adult friendships difficult. Not impossible, but it's just a natural progression. When you're little, you're kind of together, and as you get older, you kind of spread apart, and maybe you try to hold it together. Like I always had this dream that when I'd come home from Japan, everybody would come together. Not for me, but we would all be together and maybe do like block chase this was predicated from the movie, I forget the name, but it was Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, that random guy that's always in all of Adam Sandler movies, and probably someone else. And it was just beautiful. Old friends coming together to just do what old friends do. Again, when I was outside of Japan, a whole bunch of shit was happening. I didn't ask directly and no one told me directly, but a lot of these friendships were severed and they were never going to be in the same room with them ever again, which was weird, but I wasn't, I'm out the loop. So it makes sense. And according to the book, and that's fine. It's not a woe is me kind of thing, because some people might take that stance. It's more of a, well, all you need to do is find a place where you can have a lot of contact, like join a hobby. Like so I'm on my nerd talk thing, right? Coding and all that shit. So I could join a coding group, but the problem is the timing and energy. Like I'm new at it, so I have that new, oh my God. If they've been coding all their lives, they're gonna be like, noob. And that's usually what happens when I start my hobbies. When I got my new camera and I went to a camera club and I'm like, so what is the thing that you put on top of the thing that goes bloop, bloop? And that guy looked at me like, you don't know? I'm like, okay. I'm like, how do I change my lens if I want to do macro photography? He's like, you don't know? Like, I kid you not. But that's what they did to me. For what reason? I do not know. Maybe I just give off those vibes. But they were very mean to me. And this happened multiple times in multiple groups. So I guess it's a me thing. I give off the, you don't know? I don't know. But I wasn't very happy. Now, you said, so what did you do about that? I got my books. I did my online lessons. And I just paid for models to stand there and I'll figure it out. To the point where they circled back like, oh, wow, that's really nice. I'm like, yeah, thanks. But what I did to rectify that, I held my own little thing, my own little meet and greets and photography workshops. And when noobs came in and they're like, I don't know what to do. I said, here's my camera. I put it on them. I said, all right, you put your hand here and you click. And if you need to change the lens, I didn't have them feeling like they were stupid. I had them feeling like I can do this. I mean, that's my MO. Why would I not tell someone how to do stuff? Because I remember when I didn't know how to do it, people were treating me like poop. And so I think that's everything really about the book. I mean, I got 3 hours left, but the friendship things and just adults are basically kids in adult bodies. Oh man, that one hit me hard. But yeah, as promised, nerd talk. I put it all the way at the end. So if you don't even get here, that's fine. But I got my Raspberry Pi, which is a microcomputer. It can do a lot of stuff. It can't, it costs $135. It's not doing what like a gaming computer might do, but you could do a lot. So I set up mine and I have my Google speakers, I have my Go V lights, and using the API systems, I programmed it to alarm and turn off. Now, that's nothing spectacular, but I had to make sure that it worked. So I did it at home, and when I put the code in and I executed, the alarm was like, which was really scary because for about 30 minutes, I'm trying and it's just like, and I'm like, what the hell? And finally, when it did it, it startled me. Like, oh, wow. Because I have a Google, I have a speaker in my dad's room. I'm like, I hope that shit didn't wake him up because like 11 o'clock at night, and that would have been like, so then I went to school and I had to do the process again. And then finally it worked. So that means I could set up a schedule where the bells will ring like a regular school bell system. I could have music, custom sounds, because that was the other thing. It had to be the sounds that I want to play. So there's that. And then yesterday I was thinking or asking or working on a problem where Google Home, you could control the Google Home by saying, hey, Google this and hey, Google that. But I wanted more control. So the system I want to make is where I don't say, hey, Google, but I could say, like, I give papers to my kids if they're being bad. but I also give points if they're being good. So then I could be like, all right, giving papers, 6th grade, Tommy, and then it will automatically print. Or I could be like, giving reward, 6th grade, all class, 2 points, and then everyone get 2 points. Voice activated and all that shit. Now, you might be like, why don't the kids do it? I mean, they can. I don't know how to block other voices, but it'll be it'll be funny, but they will be punished on some. You had your laugh, do it again. But yeah, I'm really, it's a new hobby. It's exciting. I don't know why I didn't get into it before. I think I thought it was really nerdy. But I guess I'm a nerd because I like studying. I like reading books. I like coding. But yeah. But I gotta listen to my biology audio about genes, because that shit is difficult. But be safe. Talk to you when I talk to you. Peace.